there are no spherical cows, and there are no perfect roads, and
Yeah.
there are no situations where every driver on the road is behaving perfectly. So there'll always be edge cases that the system is not going to be able to deal with, and it's about stamping those out. And it's about stamping those out without teaching the system bad habits in other situations as
Yeah.
well, because it's all machine learning. And so it's not entirely clear why the machine is going to learn this, response to that situation. So
Exactly.
there's a lot of guardianship needed. But all that said, if you look at any of the videos of the self-drive beta testers that are out there, and there's thousands of them, tens of thousands, and the more the merrier as far as
Yeah.
Tesla is
Yeah.
concerned.
Yeah.
It's all about data, like you said earlier,
Yeah. Yeah.
just
With
hoover in
machine
as much.
learning, the more data, the better it is. Yeah.
Exactly. Uh, if you look at how those things are performing, it is really astonishing. Like the fact that it makes mistakes every now and again is mildly alarming, but the fact that it's able to do all that incredible driving in the meantime,
Mm.
and there's like little stuff like they had to do. Tesla's still fighting against negative press all the time, like wantonly negative press. Stuff like I was scrolling through my newsfeed. I was like, recall affects 150,000 Tesla cars. And I was like, oh no, what's happened? And I opened it up, and it was like a slight change to the Tesla full self-drive AI in situations where it's waiting at a stoplight at a four-way junction with no other cars in sight. And if you have selected aggressive mode for how it handles its driving, then in those situations, it will creep forward while watching for other traffic until it's sure that there's definitely nothing coming, and then
There you
accelerate.
go. Yeah.
And that that extremely niche case, right,
Yeah.
uh, might occur, 1 in 10,000 drives, but it was not endangering anybody. It was infringing or getting close to infringing, I think, a California driving code rule. And I'm all for, like, I am a bit of a stickler for the rules on the road, so I'm all for obeying the rules of the road. But this was solved with an over-the-air software patch that would happen overnight while your car is in the driveway.
Hmm.
That was the recall that the news were getting all up. Yeah, Tesla recall affects 450,000
Ah,
vehicles without
ah,
inconveniencing
ah,
anybody
ah.
for a problem that cost zero lives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
That's
and
that's that's the media. They're just
yeah,
shooting for the ultra fear attention.
yeah, but now there are things that have propped up in the media that look like it might be sensationalist, and yes, these incidents are extremely rare, but at the same time, there's merit to reporting them as a negative, because stuff like, for example, for a while there, self-driving Teslas, it's one of these cases where the machine learned something that it shouldn't have learned. Uh, they were colliding with emergency vehicles.
Hmm.
I don't know the details of it, but there were multiple crashes where Teslas rear-ended fire trucks and ambulances,
Oh
which is
wow.
like, what the hell? What
Yeah,
is going
that's
on in that thing's brain? So there's definitely cause for alarm in some situations like that, and that's why it's still a beta. That's why
hmm
it's taking so long, because it's like a an incredibly complex machine learning in a what do you call it, an opaque kind of way in an incredibly complex real world situation, and so it's gonna take a lot of refining,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. Of course, it's gonna be in beta for a long time. Look, man, there's so many, as you said, so many variables, so many situations that it has to predict and adapt to. It'll just hard to know. But as far as I understand it, the most boring part of driving is like 5 hours on a freeway where it's basically
Mm,
just straight. And
yeah,
that's where it's actually the easiest to implement. So,
absolutely, and that's why, like, the likes of Volvo and every other um, auto company with any kind of luxury range of cars, they have a system like that already set up where
mm,
it's watching the lines and keeping its lane, and those work really, really well, and they're
yeah.
used all the time.
Yeah. That's where I would use it a lot, like, because sometimes I love driving through, like small streets and driving it slowly, because you get more time to look around and kind of soak in the nature around you and things like that. But like highways, they just bore me out, man. Like after like 10 minutes, I'm just like, oh, this is annoying. Like it's cool the first part where you're accelerating and you're going faster and faster, and like, oh wow, now I'm driving fast, right?
Yeah.
But then after a while, it's just like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
driving. I'm still driving really, really fast. Like
Holding that 120 and watching other
Yeah.
cars, and yeah, it can get like, I've often had to use the laybys on a highway because I'm like driving along and then I'm like, did I just micro sleep? I think I just micro sleeped.
Where it tracks your vision, right? Where you're looking.
Well, I'm not talking about the machine there. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me in my own car. That like I have little moments where I'm like, I think I just slept for a moment there. Like I need to pull over, get some air, take a drink or something, of alcohol, obviously.
No. Don't drink and drive. Pull over,
No.
drink the alcohol, and then continue driving.
And then rip on out there.
The Uncle Gold podcast is not condoning the use of alcohol while driving.
and I am not either, just for clarity as well.
Yeah, it's just joking
the opinions and sentiments of all guests are their own, but not necessarily meant sincerely. That was a joke. Anyway, yeah. So you're right, though. You bring up the eye tracking stuff. There are driver-facing cameras in the Teslas, and in lots of other cars now as well. And the idea is to do that kind of thing, to track driver awareness, to make sure that they're paying attention, and also to keep drivers safe. Like if somebody has a stroke or something, or passes out for any other reason, that the car can respond to that. Now, there are already facilities in the self-drive model where because it has these like nagging prompts to like keep your hand on the wheel, make sure you're paying attention to what it's doing in case it fucks up. And if it doesn't detect an input from the driver for an extended period of time, and the driver doesn't respond to the increasingly nagging prompts and alarms that it gives, it'll turn on the indicators and pull over to the side of the road and slow down. It's not just going to keep going on its own.
Yeah, that can save someone's life, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But then again, I also see like somebody having their phone with them and like looking down on their phone all the time, and then it starts beeping, and somebody requesting the option to turn it off, right?
Yeah.
Because it's beeping too much.
It's beeping too much when I'm not paying attention.
Yeah. Like, why is your car beeping? Well, oh well. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see the full version, go to the Uncle Gold Podcast YouTube channel or watch the next clip.